the meet. I didn't leave the meet until 2 p.m. So there was no chance for football.
How long were you on that meet?
It's all good, man.
I was bouncing on that meet for about 9 hours.
Dang. Boys Live, we're always ready to rock. Week 8 of the Any Given Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. Welcome to the show. It's me, Rebel Scum, on here with the pod squad tonight. We got all the boys on here to mix it up, chop it up, and talk about the action that just occurred in the week. But first, let's introduce the crew before we dig into it. With his new hairpiece, New Jack City. What's cracking?
Thank you very much. I mean, since we're speaking of digging in, I did a little digging myself. It was a great weekend. Halloween weekend, and I just want to say, boys, howdy. How are you guys?
All right. What were you going for there?
That landed wonderfully.
Harry Carey, a little mad scientist, a little. What were you going for?
You know, this is called bedhead. After you spend a weekend pummeling some great cheeks and you get out of bed to film a podcast, this is what it looks like when you destroy 130.5 to 83. This is what it looks like. Sorry.
The only thing you're missing is the neck brace.
Oh my god! I know that reference. Great. You know what, Quan? What's up, Quan? Nice to see you again on the pod, Quan.
What's up, fellas? Back from the famous kitchen of the Quan. Another just a great week. Another great week. So that's all I have to say. Love, respect, community, and the dollars too. Back to you.
I love it, man. You got a modest setup, but you got a very prominent record here, finishing out week 8. Froggy, once again with a win. Welcome back. Another week.
Glad to be here, Scum. Through the mariachi. Thanks to T. Ruth sending King Henry to the curse. I got to enjoy a mid-season bye week. And got to spend some extra time in the new man cave, which we'll discuss in further detail a little later. 8 years after T. Ruth first acquired Derrick Henry from the Bussy for a 5th-round pick, he flipped him for a second, a third, and a player, setting the inevitable into motion. Thanks, baby. Meanwhile, the Patty Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Stack, and Tucker Kraft MVP of National Tight End Day were more than enough to cruise to a 50-point win over. Come on. Good times when your running backs give you nothing and you still drop 134. Clear eyes, fresh grapes. Can't lose. Shout out Victoria's Secret. Appreciate you.
Another world-class intro. Mouthful of grapes there, man. It's getting hard to talk.
Cheers to that.
And we're gonna win this week. That was incredible performance, though, and we will definitely get into that. Once again, well done with the theatrics. No one does it better than the commissioner.
Man. Just enjoying the bye week over here. Cheers.
Oh my god, I'm crying, bro. I'm crying. Hey, I just want to extend some professional compliments to Cebert Frogs for maintaining character through the fact that I was fucking dying in the background.
Well, probably helps that I have sunglasses on and I'm already blind and I can't see a freaking thing.
Hey, well, shout out to the hand model Victoria's Secret there for all that work there. She really helped you out. You do look like a cross between Stevie Wonder and the dude from Machete, Danny Trejo. I don't know what's going on over there.
Machete.
Well, I'm happy that me and NJC are being festive here on Halloween week on the pod.
Yeah,
come on, guys. We all got to get into it.
I've been festive all month, man. I had the Jack in the background.
We did not get the memo.
Hey, man, every week you got to realize what's coming up, man. We got Friday. The pod comes out one day before Halloween.
Hey, Quan, I just I want to bring something to your attention and our 2 or 3 viewers that are going to watch this, but all those jokes about hairlines and bald heads are culminating on top of yours because I'm seeing 4 fingers of something else coming. Salute the Quan.
Hey, NJC knows all about 4 fingers, though.
Oh,
my
yes.
goodness.
We was doing some LBC pile driving this weekend.
Oh no. Pile driver!
You know what rhymes with LBC and NJC is top 3. So why don't you go ahead and bring it to us?
Hey, that was poetic. NJC's top 3. Who's coming in scum gets defeated by the Awoomis. Who gets defeated by the Awoomis? Good Lord Jesus. Busting his cherry, 1-8, sending Mayo Knicks seasoned in the opposite direction like Scattaboo's ankle.
Hey, should we start back over from the top? I mean, NJC, you got to read your scripts before you present them on the podcast.
I know, right?
Not even editing will save that thing, man.
All right. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. So you'll just cut, and I'll go here, and I'll say, who's coming in scum defeats old Mayo Nick, busting his cherry, going 1-8, sending old Nick's season in the opposite direction like Scattaboo's ankle. Have a safe trip, Scattaboo. Cancun will be fun. Number 2, Broadway Brucey causing bi-coastal havoc, beginning his rebuild by hoopsing upside baby's head, also busting his cherry, sending Oops to a 5-3 record. And number 1, I actually had this written yesterday differently, but ambassadors of Quan, pimp slapping the OG, triple OG for the high score of 160 to move to an 8-0 record. Good job, Quan.
Quite the battle, man. Pimps put up a fight. Quite the battle.
He absolutely did. If the wrong running back, if he had Hunt, it may be in a different, it might,
Well, let's talk about ifs and nuts and who's busting what and what, because if I would have just stuck with my guy Jalen Waller instead of getting baby nuts and going with Jordan Mason, might have won this game. But instead, Joe, congratulations. You got the donut off the board. Well done for you. And NJC, I don't appreciate the Scatterbo reference. As funny as it was now, I lost more than just a game this week. I lost all hope for the rest of my season. So I'll see you guys next year.
Earlier in the pod, we talked about the lifespan of his career, and little did we know it would be 7 weeks.
Yeah. I thought it'd
That
be
was
a
brutal.
little.
It was a freak injury, man. It was like, that sucks.
So
Let's
I
not
hate-
get
I hated to
crazy with
make
the
the joke.
career stuff.
I hated to make the joke.
Just yet.
So Scum, now you're faced with a tough decision. I mean, are you're gonna keep him and keep rolling into next year?
No, I think I'll just cut him so you can pick him up, and then he'll have an injury-free season and become like the top 3 running back, and I'll be like, there goes another one. I don't know yet. But probably. I mean, we'll see. Little procedure was done. Ankle seems to be all right, and we'll see, man.
Hey, the good news is that he's young enough to recover from it, right? Like, he's early in his career that he can rebound. It's a dislocated ankle, so there's a stronger chance that he can come back.
Hope so, man.
Very dislocated.
I mean,
it was
yes,
very
but
dislocated.
yes, but it wasn't Achilles, it wasn't ACL or MCL. It's something that can be actually rebounded from.
Yes, I agree. Prayers up. As for Rebel Scum, I'll hopefully I can get maybe I hope I don't win any more games and just hope people lose a couple more below me, and then I can land somewhere in the top 3 and just move on with my life.
Good luck with that, and I'll get to it in my blitz. But good luck.
There's a race for that.
The race to last place is tough.
Well, then you know what? Maybe not all hope is lost, but I'm pretty sure it is. When you lose your best running back and you don't have many good ones, that's pretty tough. So that's about it, man. Great job, Joe, and may you win the race to last, I guess. Yeah, so let's throw it to some winners this week. NJC, I for sure thought you were going to give yourself the top number 1 spot because you finally had some running backs that did something. But great win, man. Wonderful. You took the jokes, the Flacco jokes. There's a lot of that going on. A couple of weeks ago, you weren't feeling so well. It was NJC's 2 and 3. And now you're on the up and up, man. You're on the up and up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We referring to the last podcast. I mentioned that, of all the people on the team that, I was hoping to rebound and had the best shot, it was Saquon. You seemed a bit of a correction game. Chase Brown had a pretty good outing. Happy for that. Yeah, Flacco, man. Flacco came out of retirement, and had a pretty decent game. I actually wrote a little monologue for Rudy. I saw the gifts, I saw the jokes, I saw the Flacco to the rescue coming early or next season, whatever. I saw all that, and you ever wonder and notice how the fantasy gods always find a way to humble somebody every single week. So my opponent rolls out Baker Mayfield. Cool, whatever. I'm starting Joe Flacco. Yep, that Joe Flacco. Man's been collecting AARP points since halftime of Super Bowl 25. Here's the thing. My opponent starts running his mouth, making jokes about people with disabilities, talking reckless, and I'm sitting here like, bro, the fantasy gods are watching. You don't tempt the fantasy football universe like that. The moment you start crossing that line, karma starts warming up on the sidelines. And sure enough, Flacco comes out of retirement and like he just got a text from Destiny, drops a vintage stat line, and suddenly Baker's looking like a guy filling out a job application at Lowe's. The lesson, stay humble. Don't talk wild. Don't disrespect people because the fantasy gods don't miss. They might just hand you an L wrapped in poetic justice. So remember, play hard, talk fun, but keep your spirit clean. Because if you anger the fantasy gods, even Joe Flacco might rise again just to teach you a lesson. Great win. GG, Rudy.
Yeah. Do you think this is the kind that was beautifully written, Mr. Shah-GPT? Do you think that this is the kind of speech that would potentially risk the ire of the fantasy gods yourself? That was pretty cocksure. It was like exactly what you were saying not to do.
No, because that message wasn't necessarily directed at one person. It's meant to be directed to everyone. And I'm a kind of person that likes to lead by example. I like to make sure that I stay humble. I've tried to bear all the jokes. I've stayed locked in, didn't falter. But, enough is enough. I shall say no more. Yeah. Thank you.
I feel like your penis looks exactly like your head right now.
Yeah, this is the balls. The rest of that is shaft.
That's the French bush up there.
Oh, that's just a little too
Terrible
much.
description.
Thank
I
you.
feel like I'm the one who posted, and then Rudy just chimed in on one thing I said, and he just caught all the strays just now.
Well, if you're playing me and you chime in, that's enough for me. It's like Michael Jordan. Like, what'd you say? Oh, okay. I'm gonna drop 50.
Compares himself to the great Michael Jordan. All right.
No.
Big play at home plate to get out of the inning for the Dodgers.
Watching
I
it.
saw that right now. I like how
don't
we're
try
all
to-
watching the game right now. Oh, by the way, fantasy football, but I see the game on in your background. I got my phone right here. I see the game on back there. Where are you watching it, NJC? Are you watching it?
On my phone.
Okay, all right. Just,
It's
like a
October,
sock
man.
check, man.
October fantasy football, October podcast. It's World Series time.
Actually, if we
year,
can just
baby.
do a quick flashback, and I'll have to find what episode this is and maybe pull a little something from it. But I think about a year ago, you were in one of the Carolinas, right? Because we were watching one of those games or wrapping it up over here. I think it was game 3 or something.
Was it
Yeah,
Florida?
watch the game clincher at a dive bar in Myrtle Beach, Dirty Myrtle. On the most amazing fucking golf course I've ever played was today, and I play 3 more before I leave. What's crazy is they have these insane fucking Happy Gilmore level miniature golf courses on every street. And I guess Tiger Woods has like a half hybrid golf course, mini golf course that we're gonna play tomorrow night. The golf is amazing. The fucking city is fucking terrible.
Dude, that was a fun episode. You were drunk as shit. That was fun.
Yeah, I was lonely single man, not single, but lonely by myself in a hotel.
Gonna edit that one out.
Nothing to keep me company but the podcast. So I appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'll be actually taking the pod on the road Thanksgiving week. I'll be up in Washington. So I might be from my mom's like quilting room or some shit like that. Well done. Just want to point out a couple of things. Tide seemed, he had some players. Rudy had some players on a bye. He's got some injured players. Don't know if the tide's turning there. Don't know if that's in the ambassador of Quan Blitz. But it may be something worth mentioning. I know Rudy's always going to put up a fight. And, maybe you just caught him slipping NJC, but you needed the win. Well done. You guys are even Stevens. That counts. That matters.
Yeah, I got a couple notes here for that one. Saquon and Chase Brown breakout games. That's what NJC's been waiting on all year. But with the breakout comes a potential hamstring injury for Saquon. That's something to keep an eye on.
Growing.
And interesting, NJC pointed out on the chat, wins the game despite his Bengals defense setting a record, potentially -8 points. I don't remember the last time I've seen that out of a defense.
Ever. I looked at the scores and it was like -1. I'm like, all right. I look again, -8. What in Hades did they do? Oh my God, it was terrible. Like, yeah, my biggest opponent this weekend was my defense. I was fighting against them the whole time. That was a 19-point swing between his 11 points and my -8, man. That was huge.
How concerned are you about Saquon's hammy?
It's groin. So I've been reading reports because the whole time when it happened, I was just like looking for live updates to see what was going on. So I've been reading, you can't really trust any news, right? Like if he's hurt and he's not going to be out, it's not going to say, he said he could have came back in the game, but the game was out of hand. So he posted, they've got their bye week. He's saying he'll be ready for week 10. So I can just only hope. The good news is that Woody Marks had a nice little showing with 11 carries. He put up over 100 scrimmage yards, and it's the second week in a row of double digits. So if I do have to have a replacement, which I do anyways, because I think Chase Brown is on bye this week, I can try to have a little bit of offset. But then freaking Drake London's phantom hip injury comes out and totally messes up my whole thing, my whole strategy. So,
well, that was interesting, right? Because the first note that I saw was Rudy picking up Darnell Mooney.
Right. And I was like, what the hell is that about?
Then the report comes out about the injury. Then you pick up the receiver that he dropped. I think the receiver that you grabbed put up more points.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney put up 1.5 and Alec Pierce put up 7. So that was poetic justice. But yeah, man, that was rando, man. So I'm more concerned about Drake London's hip injury because I need him next week. And Saquon already had a bye coming, so he wouldn't have played next week anyways. So hopefully 2 weeks is enough rest for that groin and I can get him back. The crazy thing is, man, I can't recall the last time I've had my full team on a roster. So, hopefully that happens sooner than later and I can see what the full team can do. But
I feel like we're only guaranteed that week 1. After
Right.
week 1, all hell breaks loose.
Right.
All hell. Well, yeah, great job, NJC. Froggy, another fantastic win for you, putting up a whole bunch of points, getting great performances from, of course, Patty Mahomes. But Tucker Kraft, man, just another steal of the draft for you here. You're riding high. You got the fit on. You're ready for Halloween, ready for a little fiesta. Tell us about the week, man.
I mean, I feel like I covered it during my intro. You know, I just shout out T. Ruth, man. You know, I had already fully bought in. Clearly, the costume was purchased. The tequila was bought. My hand model had already practiced a few times, and then it's the game's tight. The game's tight for most of the weekend. We didn't really pull away till Monday night. If Mahomes and Rashid didn't give me the 50 that they gave me, then I don't know. I might have had to call off this performance at the last minute. But luckily they came through. Tucker Kraft, National Tight End Day. What a performance. 31 points. I needed that. I'm starting to see a trend with my running backs, man. And, you know, when the game script isn't going their way, particularly with Quinshon Judkins, Bijan, I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know what the Atlanta Falcons coaches staff was thinking. Don't really understand the strategy in that game. I think every pundit said Bijan might just break scoring records this week against Miami's terrible run defense, and he gives me 3.5 points. So thanks, experts, for nothing. Not much to talk about, man. You know, truth, Kirk Cousins, kind of a last-minute replacement, didn't give him much. Bill didn't give him anything tonight. Vikings D started off the week with 0 points. I think when I saw that Vikings D is when I pressed purchase on Amazon for my sombrero and mustache. So it's a theme here, you know, and I think that I like what Bruce is doing, coming into the league and pumping some life into the Bussy franchise, because too many of our teams are quitting and fire selling. And, you know, the big trade here, giving up Derrick Henry, who's been riding for the better part of the decade. You know, sometimes when you sit down, even when you inherit a team with no wins and put a little bit of effort into it, you can damn near put up a high score and break a losing streak. So shout out to Spring Break Bruce and the teams that are actually still competing.
Terrible.
Well said. I'm sure we'll hear more about Spring Break Bruce in the Blitz, but we always knew that team had it in them, just needed the right hand to guide it. Quan, high score of the week, in a hell of a battle with the OG. He put up 145 in a loss, but you keep rolling. I know you're feeling good, buddy. I know you are.
Hey, thank you, Scum. Rolling into this one, I was a little bit worried. I mean, because you know, 3 of my starters are on Dallas's team, and they had a tough matchup against Denver. So I just thought, man, let me throw Dak Prescott on the bench, roll with Drake May, who is just having a breakout season. I mean, at this point, when I first picked him up after losing Burrow, I think I was like, oh, you know, he's kind of like the flavor of the week right now. But I mean, every week, you know, he's putting up 30s. And really, when it comes to quarterbacks this year, I know last week we talked about BC and, you know, and myself for keeping quarterbacks and how, you know, that wasn't needed. But that was not the case last year. But now, I mean, it's pretty much 12 to 13 quarterbacks that are putting up 30s regularly. It's almost like you have to have a quarterback now that's putting over 25 because so many teams have quarterbacks that are scoring points like that. But
Drake May, the number 2 quarterback in AGS currently.
Wow, yeah. So you guys are right. I probably could have kept a 4th round pick and just rolled Drake May. But you know what? Dak Prescott, what is he ranked?
Dak is, I think, top 5.
Okay. But, you know, Dak has been doing his thing too. But anyhow,
number 5.
yeah, thank you. But anyhow, man, this one went to I was actually Pimps was favored to win going into the second half of the games. It wasn't looking good, but then Jonathan Taylor just did his thing. Like, he's just basically having one of those seasons. And it just goes to show you when you when you get a star marquee player like many of you guys have on your teams and that can put up number 1 seasons, you get that for years. They won't be number 1 every year, but here and there they'll break out and that'll be, the season that, you do real well. But anyhow, man, that was
JT, the mid-season favorite for most valuable player of the NFL.
Yeah, well, it's only mid-season.
Wild.
We'll see what happens. But I remember Saquon last year. This is like looking very similar. Derrick Henry all those years. Bijan, has Bijan what, year before last or last year, right?
Last year was his breakout year.
Yeah, Bijan too. So it's But I can kind of feel for Pimps a little bit. That is a winning score. You're not supposed to lose with that many points. But he just so happened. Go ahead.
No, and just like Breece Hall had best game of the season. Pittman put up 20 points. He had another great performance from Jalen Hurts. It is a tough one.
Odunze bounce back game. The only downfall was the 49ers D matched T. Roof's Vikings D 0 points.
Yeah, that pretty much did it. But that's it, man. We're rolling. It's I don't have anything negative to say. I'll get into it. I'm sure you guys want to talk about the Brian Thomas Jr. trade. Was anybody?
Yeah, matter of fact.
Huh?
Yes, we'd love to talk about it.
All right. Do y'all want to go first? You want to, you have anything?
Let's talk about the trade, man. You're up.
Yeah. So, anyhow, as you know, Brian Thomas Jr., man, I love that man. His rookie season.
Trade would say otherwise.
I will say, I hyped him up in announcing my keepers. I nicknamed him the Bayou Burner. But in the end, man, you only can keep so many players. And looking at my roster, there's 4 players I'm definitely keeping, and I can't keep him over any one of those players. And then on top of that, he is having like a questionable season. He's having a down season. It's not looking good. But it's not like I got a whole lot of value for him. But I definitely wanted to move him for some value before the trade deadline. And I think that's the beauty of our trade deadline. Our trade deadline is slightly early. It's slightly before the second half of the season. Now that could be a plus or a minus. Like, the plus is guys like me who are trying to move some players to get some value. Mid-season. You never know. I could be making a bad decision and he could break out. But then on the other hand, teams may throw in the towel a little bit early. And then on the flip side, teams may not throw the towel in because it's too early. But I think that our trade deadline is at a nice sweet spot to try to prevent tanking. But it just happens,
It's exactly the halfway point of our regular season. Obviously not taking into account postseason. And definitely it's, teams start fire selling. Oh, look at that. Spoken into existence.
Speaking of fire selling.
Teams start fire selling, very early. So there's I'd have to set the trade deadline at week 3 to avoid fire sales.
So I was just going into to what I thought was an even trade for BTJ is Sinkay, who is clearly tanking for last place, is looking for it wasn't a whole lot of keepers on his team. And to get Brian Thomas Jr., who potentially could be traded and become the number 1 receiver he was last year, for just not even a 3rd round pick for next year, a 2027 3rd round pick, I think that's great. value. It's good for both of us. You know, I got to get some value for a player I didn't really need, and then he got value for a potential breakout. So,
well, what you said made me have a question, and then obviously we'll pass the mic to Sugan. By the way, Sugan, I'm dressed as you for Halloween.
My culture is not your costume.
Put Jules on the camera. I'm sure she'll love my appropriation tonight. The question about keepers, right? So my question to you, Quan, is does next year's keepers outweigh this year's depth after moving Pollard and BTJ?
I will say that neither. When you equate those players to depth, would you consider Tony Pollard depth? And would you?
I mean, at this point, you are basically praying that your starters remain healthy for the next 7 weeks, 10 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. But even with those two players, I'm still praying. To those two players, Tony Pollard so if any one of my running backs get hurt, was Tony Pollard going to save my season? How many points?
I mean, it's Tony. This is the depth you currently have: Zay Flowers, Aaron Jones, Theo Johnson, and Colston Loveland.
You're answering my question with the question. Is Tony Pollard going to save my season if one of my running backs get hurt? How many points is he putting up regularly right now? Nothing. He should be. The only reason he's not on waivers is because someone paid a pick for him.
What about BTJ?
Next player is BTJ. BTJ is pretty much, he put up 10 and 20 was the most points he put up this season, and he's pretty much been a spot starter. And I feel like there's spot starting wide receivers out there on waivers, and I don't see him adding much depth. But mind you, I have 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers, so it will really take 2 players to get hurt for me to really start going to waivers for players. So I looked at that, and then the value of those players, I really lost depth. Those players weren't playing good anymore. So and then
the depth was already gone before the
what
trade.
really hurt was is when I lost my starting quarterback, and I had to start moving players and picks to trade for a quarterback. But I get what you're saying. Depth is highly important. Go ahead, Nick.
I mean, you didn't have to trade for a quarterback. That's kind of beating a dead horse. But anyway,
I didn't have to after Drake May moving forward started putting up a whole lot of points. But
didn't you have Danny Dimes? Didn't you have your Danny Dimes for a little bit too?
What did he do for you this week, Scott?
Gave me 31.
Okay.
He was actually one of the better players on the squad.
Is he? Yeah, but I traded for a top 5 quarterback, guys. Come on.
For sure. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, you already have like the top 2, right? Didn't Froggy just cover that?
He was this week. Put him at top 2, I think.
Okay, sorry, I beat a dead horse. I brought it up, and
but anyhow,
last week he was number 4.
Depth is highly important. Depth is what gets you through the season, gets you through the injuries. But neither Tony Pollard nor Brian Thomas Jr. was going to replace any of the players any of the players that I would lose. The old BTJ would have never got traded. I would have rolled him out. But this BTJ, I don't know. Sinkay's got a hope, but we'll see. He may get traded to another team and be a number 1 wide receiver, and it could have looked like the dumbest thing ever. But, you got anything, Sinkay?
Well, Sinkay he can keep wearing his LSU jersey. Now he's got another LSU receiver.
I should have brought it on. I wore it too much, so it's in the dirty clips. But no, yeah, I mean, I'm just buying low on a player who proved that he could be good. I originally tried to put him in that Dak deal, but I don't know, Lou wasn't trying to do that. I guess that would throw a wrench in a deal that we all already had in place. But no, yeah, I'm happy about that trade. Hopefully he could turn it around. I don't know what's been going on, but yeah.
Maybe Trevor Lawrence has been going on.
that might be it. He did
Maybe,
do all his damage with Mac Jones, so
yeah,
he needs some Mac Jones loving.
It's not looking
talented.
good. It's not looking good with Trevor Lawrence at all, and it keeps getting worse. But you know, and Mac Jones is not walking in that building anytime soon. But look, he's still Brian Thomas Jr. So, you know.
Well, Liam Cohen came out today and put the kibosh on the trade rumors, said he wants to keep his boy and have him figure it out with Trevor.
Good luck, CK. You did buy low. You did buy low. That was a good trade. But that once again, I would have held out if our trade deadline wasn't approaching so quickly, and I wanted to get value for a player I pretty much wasn't going to use.
Yeah, I was trying to hold out because I was doing the math and I was like, I think he's probably going to have to drop this guy, but I didn't want to risk not getting him and somebody else getting him. I'd rather have him than not. So good roll of the dice.
Why does it look like you're doing this podcast from a call center in Bangladesh?
I'm on my 30-minute lunch break.
Got it.
All right. Enough about that trade.
Yeah, Quan, why don't you hit us with the Blitz? We got the Sugandis on here right now, and I know you got something prepped for him, and you can just carry on. This is a new segment. We're very excited. We don't know what to expect.
All right. Here we go with the Quan's first weekly Blitz of the non-pod cast members games. You can put it right up here. Boom. Boom. See that? You need me to do it again?
I need you to commit to a weekly bit. Are you sure you can commit to that, Quan?
No, Mr. DeVell. Do you see me, Mr. DeVell?
There it is. All right. And with our first matchup, we got the Oops Babies versus Coastal Havoc. And down goes the baby. In their first ever matchup, Coastal Havoc came in saying, "No Brissy for you." It was 132-96 beatdown, and Havoc finally grabbed his first dub of the season. The formula for success, a full lineup of 19s. The Lad, 19 points. Killer Trav on National Tight End Day, 19 points, naturally. And the late waiver wire pickup, Khalil Shakir with 19 points. Great job for the Brussy, who is shedding some light on that terrible team he inherited. And then most of all, the monstrous 28 points from the Bucks D. Meanwhile, Oops Babies lived up to the name. More oops than babies. There was some bright spots. Troy Franklin put up 24. He got 22 from the Bills D. But this is where the collapse happened. His great white hope, Christian McCaffrey, with 7.5 points, a nice, fresh, crispy donut from Quentin Johnson, and the genius start of backup running back Kyle Minogue for 2 points. Oops Baby drops to 5-3, losing their grip on first place in the Sunday division, while Coastal Havoc finally climbs out of the winless abyss, but still might be fighting for Wumi's coveted last place trophy of shame. Our second matchup, the Tank is strong with the Sugan. The curse held on.
Come on, hang on a
Just
second.
want sorry to interrupt. You got a good flow going, Quan, but I gotta double down. Shout out Spring Break Bruce. First full week as an owner, he gets a W after previous owner Bussy had lost 9 straight games.
Moving on to our next game. The Tank is strong with the curse. The Tank is strong with the Sugandis. The curse held off Sugandis to the 107.5-92 victory. Sugandis is deep in his strategic rebuild era, chasing the exclusive name change loss. Another step closer to rock bottom, fitting where he enjoys being an AGS bottom. Mission accomplished, Sugan. The curse, meanwhile, kept it consistent across the board. Everyone chipped in except Dalton Kincaid and his defense. The real spark came from fresh off the gift of a controversial post-trade deadline, Derrick Henry dropping 20 points. Thank you to T. Ruth, who's also joining the Tank squad. The result, Curse moves to 5-3, holding strong in second place in the Thursday division behind the resurgent season of the Frogs franchise. And Sugandis slides to 2-6. But hey, when losing is the plan, that's a win. Thank you. And that's it for the Quan's Blitz. Over and out.
Sponsored
Sugan.
by Rosetta Stone and reading is fundamental.
Sugan left his first round pick, RJ Harvey, on the bench with his breakout game, 22.5 points.
I was so happy because every time I saw a damn running back, because they be putting their numbers so close, and I see a little running back running. I'm like, no, is that Dobbins? Oh, is that Harvey? Hey, go Harvey.
You know, it's funny, NJ Shitty over there, who stumbled through his whole monologue twice. We have
You're stumbling through the joke right now.
double it up. Hey,
Did we skip over Scum, or we jumped into the Blitz before Scum?
No. We talked about my game early on. I gave the shout out to the one thing I didn't give props to Joe for was James Cook's cooking me. He put up some great numbers, had a great game, and was the single reason why he won.
You know, I just when I mentioned Spring Break Bruce breaking the streak, the longer losing streak actually was a Wilmeth. This was his first win in 14 games. He broke a 13-game winless streak.
What's the is that the record?
I'd have to go back and do some research, but that's got to be close to the record.
Got it.
It's atrocious, but I'm glad he finally got a win, and you know what? Great. I'm glad it happened to me, and again, glad that Cam Scadaboo's ankle pointed north when it meant to go south. All bad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Speaking of Wilmeth and the propensity for being bad and losing streak, I actually did a little report, a little digging. You know, every week I get asked on the spot for some data, but this is one that I had time to prepare. So let me throw that out for the pod tonight. Who's coming second and his lack of transactions report. Scum, you got a official title for it?
Sleepy Joe report.
Sleepy Joe report.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
All right. I ran a report this week to figure out if Owumi's now, you know, when I first put this together, he didn't have a win. So props to Owumi, you have a win. Your 1-8 start. Is it just bad luck or is it bad management? Spoiler alert, it's inactivity. Owumi has made only 4 transactions all season. The league average is approximately 20 moves per team, and the most active squad, the Curse, is over 40. The top 4 teams in the league, Quan, Frog, Oops, Rudy, are all between 17 and 23 moves. The next most inactive teams, Penthouse Pimps, has 5 moves, and T-Ruth has 9 moves. Both of those teams are 3 and 5. Owumi's biggest weakness, quarterback. He's been rolling with Aaron Rodgers, quarterback 13, Ham Ward, quarterback 31, and Anthony Richardson, quarterback 54. An aging vet playing in his final season, a rookie who's barely fantasy relevant, and a young quarterback who's missed time with absurd injuries and has only scored half a point this season. Meanwhile, as discussed earlier in the show, the waiver wire has been loaded with talent. Drake May, the number 2 quarterback in AGS, Dak Prescott, the number 5 quarterback, Daniel Jones, the number 6 quarterback, even Matthew Stafford, who I picked up, the number 9 quarterback, have all been sitting there untouched. That's not bad luck. That's lack of engagement. While the rest of the league adjusts weekly, trading, covering buys, chasing matchups, Owumi's been running the same stagnant lineup. When your league mates are averaging 5 times your activity, you're not evolving, you're falling behind. The numbers don't lie. Active teams are winning. Inactive ones aren't. Who's coming in second isn't just last in the standings. He's last in roster management. Fantasy football isn't a set it and forget it game anymore. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. So the question heading into the second half of the season, will Owumi wake up and start making moves? Or is he already scouting for next year's number 1 draft pick? An effort, drumroll please, he has yet to start.
Yeah, wow, that makes me feel worse about losing this week too. The guy just lets it cook, and he's like, "I'm gonna win one." Yeah, well done. But you have to be active. You're right. There's a lot going on. Even when you think you have your roster set, you got the players that can just rock. Something happens. You gotta look for matchups. You gotta try to cover your bases, or you can just bench your best players and hope for
Well, I
that.
reached out to a woman for a quote as I was putting this data together, and he kept coming back to the same thing, which I think he said to a few of us, is that he's loyal. He's loyal to these players, and I was like,
They're not loyal to you.
why not be loyal to yourself and your $250 that you put into this league instead of players who have no idea that you even exist?
He's loyal to the players.
Facts.
And I said, you're tanking. When I came in last place, I talked about Bija, and there's players out there that you talk about. I asked him, I was like, who's going number one? He has no clue. He has no clue.
I know who I'd be looking at. Who if he comes out of college, I know who I'd be looking at.
Arch Manning.
Yup.
Number one overall.
Franchise QB, baby.
Number one, baby.
Hey, well, Froggy, you submitted a nice little day in the life or slice of life video for a segment, and you mentioned it earlier in our introduction about the man cave. What went down in that backyard, and how did this transform your viewing experience?
Yeah, when you're playing T. Ruth and you're enjoying the bye week, you have to find something to fill your time up with, man. So I spent some time back in the man cave, and I reminisced over last year, putting it together. It took me back to when we were hanging out, Scum, in the IE, and I had the man cave down on the first floor, and we had the shuffleboard, and I had all my bobbleheads. And the way my new home is set up in Hawthorne, it didn't quite have the space. Victoria's Secret threw my shuffleboard into the trash, and I just didn't have that home for my bobblehead, that home for my trophies, that home for the fellas that come over and hang out. So I was looking outside to my backyard, and by chance I reconnected with my childhood best friend, owner of Jam Construction, and we came up with an idea to build a new man cave. And I'll cue it up like Quan and NJC and take a look at this video. It kind of shows you what we came up with and where AGS viewing parties at my house will be taking place for the foreseeable future.
What up, AGS? Dropping back in with a new video. One of the things I lost when I moved from my old house in the Inland Empire, besides obviously running the mean streets of Upland, Rancho, and Montclair with Victoria's Secret, I Got This, Sugan Hook, and Rebel Scum, was my man cave. We moved to Hawthorne when we were pregnant with LJ about a decade ago, and it was one room less. The design was a little different from the old house, so I lost my man cave. After a decade of living here in Hawthorne, I finally decided to build a new one. Shout out to my childhood best friend Jaime and Jam Construction for making it happen. This video walks through the build and the special space I created to showcase some of the AGS keepsakes I picked up over the past 20 years, including, and most importantly, my 4 championship trophies. Some highlights include artwork from my 40th birthday trip to Ocho Rios with Victoria's Secret, Panama 81, Rudy and Scum, Columbia artwork from FU Pay Me's bachelor party with T. Ruth and Voodoo, a Cal banner representing undergrad where I hung out with those same guys, plus Quan and The Curse, a sample of my bobblehead collection, Victoria's Secret's 2012 championship trophy from AGS, a handcrafted frog piece, a gift from a Woolmouth whose brother Anthony helped out during construction on one of his regular LA visits. You also see Kappa, 49ers, and Saints memorabilia representing my family and fraternity. This is the perfect space to host AGS viewing parties. I've had a bunch of you over for those and plan on doing more this season and future seasons. And it's the place where I kick back and watch movies and sporting events with the kids.
what a sick spot. I've had the pleasure of experiencing it. I think everybody here has been there to check it out, and we hope to get to enjoy more games and hopefully some wins out there too in su casa.
Top shelf. Top shelf.
Well, I think one thing that's cool about it after seeing the video and some of the things I highlighted is that, you know, we honor some of the stuff we've done as AGS members together. We've got the artwork from Scum and I's trip. Rudy was also there to Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Speaking of Jamaica, please keep my family in your prayers as Hurricane Melissa bears down on them overnight. Hoping for the best possible outcome for my family and all their friends in Jamaica. Special place in our heart, obviously. I spent my 40th birthday there with my AGS family. Also artwork from Colombia, former player F.U. Payme. We hosted his bachelor party out there. We had T. Ruth and Voodoo were also there for that. And then, you know, the bobbleheads we've collected throughout the years, the trophies. I think I asked Sugan to keep an eye out for some artwork as he's traveling. And, I think he visited New Orleans to scout out his upcoming wedding. So it's a wall of fame for AGS and Cebert Frogs and all that comes with it, man. So we honor AGS in the man cave.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of AGS, I want to look forward to next week's matchups. I'm going to start with you, Frog. You have Sleepy Joe next week. Looks like you're just in your string of bye weeks, as you had called on the pod a couple of weeks ago. This is vacation time for you, brother.
This is game 3 of 3 of the bye season. Now, the first game did not end up being a bye at all against Sugan, who put up 140, 150 points. And honestly, the game with T. Ruth wasn't in the bag until Monday night. So who knows what will happen next week. He's fresh off a victory. May the best team win. Since you did give me a chance to hold the mic, I do want to give the league one final Vussy update. We forgot to mention this on the pod last week, and I do want to put it on record that we failed to mention a notable finding regarding the Vussy franchise. I don't know if everyone's aware, so I want to put this out there as further proof that we did the right thing by replacing his franchise. So he made a lot of deals for draft picks, and he made promises during the meeting that he was using these draft picks to rebuild his franchise and he was building for the future. But we found out in our investigative 60 Minutes report, and we have receipts, that he attempted to trade those draft picks that he gained for Ashton Genty, for Jahmyr Gibbs, for cold hard cash. In official transcripts submitted to the commissioner's office, we have proof that Vussy was offering first-round picks for $100 a pop and second-round picks for $50 a pop, all illegal transactions in AGS. Thankfully, no one fell for the Viet Coons trickery, because you would have never seen that money again. He was up to some shenanigans. So long, Vussy. Easily replaced, not missed.
Wow, he just had the trench coat open with the draft picks and the carrot sticks. That's crazy shit.
Could you imagine?
That is crazy.
Bid on that and gave up $100 or $200, $300 for draft picks, and they would have never saw that money back.
Never.
Nor the
ever.
Nor the picks.
Nor the picks. NJC, you got quite the matchup next week. You've got the Curse. This is pivotal here. 75% of teams that are 5-3 in week 8 of the AGS Fantasy Football League that lose don't make the playoffs. I'm just kidding. I made that up right now, but it's just trying to season it up a little bit,
bro. I was puckering the whole time. No, man. Joey, not the Joe. He's always a worthy opponent, regardless of what's going on or bye weeks. I've got some things to work out in the locker room. Got to figure out the injury situation. So we'll see. I'm just happy to be able to be competitive. I'm happy to turn a losing record into a winning record. So let's just keep riding that momentum. So thanks for the good luck.
Right on. Good luck next week. Sugandiz, you don't care who you play. It doesn't matter. The better the opponent, I mean, you hope. You've actually got Oops. You probably already knew that. He's going to be trying to win, which is in your favor.
Yeah, let's just keep this train rolling. No stops, no breaks. Keep doing what we're doing.
And no regrets, right? Like, you don't care that week 2 you were like, take what I got.
Well, because literally it wouldn't, like, all the games that I lost, I still would have lost. If I started RJ Harvey, still would have lost. So let's just keep on going.
All right, man. Let the loser train roll. Quan, I haven't looked yours up yet, so I'm vastly underprepared for this tossing of the mic over to you. You got T. Roos, so you're on a bye week too. You'll be shaking the maracas next week, figuratively.
We'll see. You know. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, T. Roof, is he on sometimes he's got to be on a loser streak. But with the trade of Derrick Henry, I mean, it's not a whole lot of points on his team. But any given Sunday.
Any
Get
given
the maracas
Sunday.
in your mouth.
Literally. The Havoc and the replacements are going out next week, and I think that's a tough matchup for the replacements. Havoc buys withstanding, but Havoc can put up some points, and Rudy's been a little bit in a rut here. He's getting some players back. Anything can happen. Tough matchup, though. Right in that winning momentum. And then I've got the OG. A tough matchup, probably lose that one. And then that'll be great.
Coming off
Try to win, man. Keep these dudes out of playoff contention, man. Try to win.
I am trying to win. I'm definitely trying to win, but I'm not throwing in the towel. Just emotionally, it hurts. It hurts. You guys have all lost key players, important players to your franchise, and it's hard not to remember just a week or two ago the good vibes, the high fives everybody was having. We were living the best time of our lives. Week 3, week 4, fucking hat tricks. Fucking just crazy ass WWF from the 80s, cocaine and steroids, just running through shit. And it's gone, man. Fucking gone.
Nick, looking at your team and how it was making a turn for the second half of the season, I was like, man, Nick's team is going to be some trouble. But that Scottaboo injury, that's rough, man. I don't put that on anybody.
Nope.
That's tough. I feel sorry, Nick, because you really, we were talking shit about your team in the beginning. It turned out
for like 2 weeks, I was like, you know what?
Egg on your faces.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey, Froggy, the mustache is a good look. I think you need to grow one out. Just invest, do the Just for Men, and just have the stash, dog. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put this stash to good use as soon as we close this call. Shout out Victoria's Secret. You saw her trophy shining on the man cave wall. She kept me feeling nice tonight with the fresh grapes. And now it's time to wrap up my bye week in style in the bedroom. Let this costume earn its MVP honors off the field with a little bit of Froggy style.
A little dirty Sanchez on a Monday night, huh?
I think that's the perfect way to end this show. So much, guys, for joining us as we enter week 9. The Pod Squad will be back next week. Any Given Sunday podcast.
Gotta save the flavor.